It is party time. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. Tuesday, which, as we all know around here, is Monday's hangover. And I want to, well, I laid it on thick on yesterday, Monday night's episode. If you missed last night's episode, I want you to go back and I want you to watch it. I want you to watch it because I laid on some stuff that first 5 or 6 minutes about critical thinking that I need you to be able to grasp, okay? Because going forward, I'm going to really start hammering our audience to really start asking that question of, am I wrong? Am I wrong? I really, truly believe, Chris and Mark, I believe that is where critical thinking starts. You got to ask yourself, no matter what's going through your brain, am I wrong? And then start from that hypothesis and then move forward. Prove yourself right. A couple of weeks ago, I guess it's been a little over a week ago, I shared a video that they got mad at me. They were ticked off. I shared a video that was exposing some things regarding Texas Governor Greg Abbott. As you all know, I just ran against him in the primaries. We lost. That's okay, but we won. We won in the grand scheme of things because we opened up a lot of eyes. And it was through sharing some of the information like I did with this particular video. So we have that video queued up. Can we play it, Chris? Yep. Let her rip.
Okay, I have one question.
Tell me.
Okay. So, the Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum has bragged publicly about infiltrating governments and grooming political leaders. Now, he's for the Great Reset, pushing for an Agenda 2030, complete globalization. Do you denounce the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and the Great Reset?
Listen, I'm not a globalist. I'm a Texas first, an America first person.
But do you denounce Klaus Schwab and the Great Reset?
I promote Texas and America.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, man.
All right, guys, so as you can see, I just asked Texas Governor Greg Abbott if he would denounce Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, and the Great Reset, and he refused to do so. I mean, I don't understand why it's so difficult to just say, I denounce those things. Oh, I know why, because he actually has a page of himself on the World Economic Forum. I'll show you in a second here, but anyways, it doesn't matter, Republican or Democrat. They're all corrupt, okay? The only thing is Democrats are going to get us into a very bad place. They just speed things up. That's basically what they do. But in the end, they're all the same. All right, guys. Well, God bless, and may Jesus Christ be with you.
There you go. There you go. All right. So the creator of that video, the author of that very specific piece, is sitting over here in the hot seat, Mr. Cassady Campbell. Welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. All right, I got questions. Yeah. And I shared that video, and everybody came at me and said, I thought you said after you lose, you would support Abbott. I will vote for him, and you and I have discussed this. I will vote for the guy, but I got a real problem with a guy who's not going to denounce the World Economic Forum. How did you come about making that video? Give me the story.
Okay, so originally, I was just talking to my buddy Alex Stein, who's on here like every single day, and one of my other friends, and we're talking about going to the Beto O'Rourke event, which we did, and we got kicked out of. And then I was like, crap, you know what? Let me see if Abbott's having any events. And that same day, he's having an event like an hour away. I think, crap, I just know it's an hour away in some
somewhere
little
in Texas,
town.
it's
Yeah,
all an hour
exactly.
away.
And the thing is, they don't post these events like on their social media or anything because they don't want trolls to show up. So I found it, got in at like Everbright Tickets is where I got it, showed up, and at the end, you could take a selfie with him. So I was like, crap, what do I do? Because I can't go up there and like film it with my normal camera. So I just did a front face camera and was like, hey, I just want to ask you one question. Are you willing to denounce Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum? And he kind of diverts and he says, I'm not a globalist. I'm a Texas First American. Well, why can't you just denounce the World Economic Forum?
Yeah.
How hard is it? I saw the same thing in Canada with the Speaker of the House. They were asking a question. The Speaker of the House was like, I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear the question. He asked the same exact thing that I was asking. He's like, which politicians here are going with Klaus Schwab and part of the World Economic Forum? And he's like, I can't hear you. I think it's cutting out. You could hear it perfectly though.
Right. So people say, well, what about it? Are you going to vote for Abbott? Yeah, I'm going to vote for Abbott because, again, I can at least apply some pressure, as we all can as conservatives, to Greg Abbott and get him to at least say the right things. With a little more pressure, we can make him do the right things. and at least we can last a little while longer, right?
Yeah.
Beto O'Rourke, ain't gonna happen. I mean, he hates America. He wants to crash the whole system.
Yeah.
Right.
And he must hate the Hispanic community because he mocks them all day and night with that name. Robert Francis.
Yeah, that's why I just call him Bobby O'Rourke.
You know, I was going to get one of my Hispanic friends to go troll him and be like, why do you do this? Why are you appropriating our culture? You're not even Mexican.
Can you imagine if a conservative or a Republican were to do that? How much trolling they would get over that? I mean, the cancel culture mob, the woke mob, everybody would come after them trying to make them be, like you said, appropriating culture.
Yeah.
So this situation, I want people to be aware because this is the fight we're in.
Yeah.
People don't. If you don't understand what the World Economic Forum is, if you don't understand who its leader Klaus Schwab is, and you don't understand, these are the puppet masters.
He's actually a Rothschild. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think he gets his power? You know, the first thing that happens is if you go on Google and search Klaus Schwab parents, it says fact check, his parents are not Rothschilds. But if you go look up like the family history and stuff, there's like a bloodline and it shows, you know, his parents and stuff like that. And his mom is a Rothschild and he's married to a Rothschild.
Yeah.
Where do you think he gets the power?
These are the puppet masters. So when you see the videos out there, JP Sears has a video right now. And
why did he support? He supported Black Lives Matter though.
Yeah.
What's going on with that? I feel like he's kind of a sellout for doing that.
Which one? Who?
JP Sears.
JP. Well, I think a lot of times, a lot of people early on, and I'm not defending anybody.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody knew what Black Lives Matter was early on.
Well, this was within the last 2 years.
Yeah. They definitely, I never supported them because I saw through that smoke and mirrors real quick. JP is one of those guys who he'll give you the benefit of the doubt. He loves everybody. And then I was like, yeah, no, can't be doing that. But JP posted that video of Joe Biden and Klaus Schwab in the I'm sorry, Joe Biden and Leonardo DiCaprio right there in the front row.
Yeah.
Yes.
Watching Klaus Schwab. Yeah. You know, there they all are.
You can go watch too for $29,000.
Yeah, for $29,000, you can join up, go to the event, you do the whole thing. You can be there.
Maybe get some baby blood and stuff like that.
Get a little adrenochrome.
Yeah.
Get you an IV.
But, you know, it's funny with all this stuff going on with Russia and Ukraine. You know, Ukraine's president, he goes to the World Economic Forum. He's part of it. Putin was... what's his face? Schwab admitted, or Rothschild, should I say? He admitted that he groomed Putin. They're all part of it. Trudeau. I mean, it's just a big stage, man. They're all actors, Trump included. But you know, you'll get people saying Trump doesn't have any part in that. He just goes there. I'm like, wait. So somebody who's not a globalist just goes to the World Economic Forum. So like, what would I be doing there if I'm not a globalist? You know, what would you be doing there? You wouldn't.
Why would I be there? Why would I be there? I have no desire to be there. I have no point in being there. There's nothing to gain from being there.
Yeah.
And by the way, I will publicly say that I denounce Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. I denounce them wholeheartedly right here. If you hadn't figured that one out in however many years I've been doing this show, we denounce. I denounce. I'm not going to speak for Mark and Chris. They may be paying their $29,000 online right now. I don't know. But I know you want to be one of the white people.
Yes.
I know you do, Chris. You want the privilege.
You know what Klaus Schwab said? He said, "It's going to be a very angry world. Mm-hmm. Imagine the threatening scenario of a cyber attack." How does he know that we're going to have a cyber attack?
Right.
Oh, he's the one who's going to be doing it.
He's the one who does it. He talks about a fourth industrial revolution. He talks about chipping people.
Yeah.
He talks about being able to track people. Basically, if they can turn your phone off, turn your electric car off, wouldn't it be great if they just turn you off?
That's why they want everyone to go electric.
Yeah, absolutely.
And another thing I was going to say, you know, I was watching this video because it's talking about Bible prophecy. You know, we've had 3, huge world leaders so far, and this is the 4th. He talks about the 4th industrial revolution. So this is it. This is the last one. Mark of the Beast is coming. All that stuff. Prophecy is being fulfilled as we speak. And I believe personally that, America is Babylon. This is modern day Rome. You know what I mean? So, I mean, just look, everything corrupt comes from here. Right. You know, our nation was found on Freemasonry. It's not a Christian nation. If you look at the treaty, there's a document called the Treaty of Tripoli, however you pronounce it, with our founding fathers. It says that by no means was America founded on the Christian religion.
Right.
So
no, I mean, and all you got to do is look at the symbolism of Freemasonry. Now, that'll piss everybody off too, but I don't really care. But you look at the Washington Monument. It's one big phallus symbol.
Yeah, Jefferson.
It's a Freemason symbol.
Thomas Jefferson openly admitted that he designed all that stuff to dedicate it to the pagan gods.
Well, we're getting deep in it now.
Yeah.
Again, I go back to the critical thinking thing. You got to ask yourself, am I wrong? Am I wrong? What if everything we've built ourselves on believing in was all just one big fabricated lie? One big thing that we were told. You were told you were free, but are you really free? I mean, are you really free? I mean, we have this notion of freedom and think about, no, I've got to go pay the IRS every single year out of my income. That they let me have, as long as they continue to deem me essential.
And you don't even know what your taxes are going to.
You don't have a clue.
It'd be nice if I actually knew what they were going to. That'd be nice. And if most Americans paying taxes actually knew what it was going to, they would not want to be paying their taxes. I mean, it's not like anybody really wants to pay them now, but imagine if they really knew.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and let's go back. Let's revisit the whole Freemasonry thing, okay? And I know there's a lot of people out there that you are a Mason or whatever, the whole thing, but you haven't delved into the depths of where that comes from or what it is that you're having anything to do with. So we're operating from a place of these aren't joining the VFW clubs, right? If you look at the history of these things, there's a whole lot of nefarious things that are going on there. These things didn't just suddenly pop out. The Klaus Schwabs of the world didn't just pop up.
Yeah.
And say, oh, well, here we are. No, they came from somewhere.
Yep.
And that's a generations of existence. Yep. I tell you, wouldn't it be nice if we could just get these guys to come out on record and say, yeah, I'm a member of the World Economic Forum, or, I'm okay with an organization that wants to chip people.
They won't say it because then people are going to freak out. That's like, this whole, how do I explain it, man? The everything is just slowly going into, that like we're going into the Antichrist government, that one world government. And the reason how do I explain? Go ahead, man.
Yeah, well, I tell you, it goes back to this whole. We could go back. We could get real Glenn Beck real fast. We could talk about New World Order. We could talk about Great Reset. We could talk about ESG scores. We could talk about modern monetary theory. We could talk about the World Economic Forum. We could talk about all these different things. But at the end of the day, and I said this to you last week, these have spiritual foundations.
Yep.
They all have spiritual foundations. And I'm telling you, everybody wants to talk about all of these theories except getting back to the place of scripture or faith or understanding that these things have been foretold. Now, again, what does this mean on the global scale spiritually? We don't know yet. We don't know. We're trying to interpret and see through things, with our own faith and understand and have a sight to see. But my gosh, man, you bet it's time to get real about some of this stuff.
Yeah, and what I was going to say was, as far as just moving towards this New World Order, the Great Reset, they create obviously these distractions, these entertaining distractions, and people are like, oh my gosh, I have to go get this booster and do this and that. Now it's pray for Ukraine. It's just one distraction after another, and it's like you fell for the whole COVID hoax, and now you're falling for this. Yeah, like people are so easily programmed. It's just that's one of the things. There's a document. It's actually if you type it in, it'll say on YouTube, it's a conspiracy. It's called the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. It's literally in the FBI documents, in the FBI vault, and actually somebody posted it on the FBI's Twitter, and it has all the different protocols. I think there's 20 or so, and one of them is create entertaining distractions, use the media to manipulate people, the education system. And it's all happening.
Because if you're not going to be deceived by the whole COVID thing, then we'll find something else to deceive you with. Maybe it's Ukraine, maybe it's this or that. But whatever, we will get you to buy into a narrative.
And people are like, there's wars going on, there's people dying. Yes, they're manufactured by the globalists.
Right.
That's what it is. Yes, there's something going on, but it's all planned.
Maybe Jesus knew what he was talking about when he talked about wars and rumors of wars.
Yeah, right.
I mean, so anyway, where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram and YouTube at Cassady Campbell.
Cassady Campbell. All right. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely,
Good
man.
stuff. This ain't the last time you're going to be here, by the way.
I appreciate
that. Keep pissing people off. I love it. Hey, newsflash, tensions in Europe, they're boiling over. Inflation, 40-year high. Some analysts predict stock returns of less than 4% until 2030. So, how are some Americans preparing for economic uncertainty? Some are investing their money in an unexpected commodity. It's not natural gas, oil, or gold, even though all investments involve risk. Some experts believe it's even better hedge against inflation than gold. Its prices outpaced the S&P 500 by 164% from 1995 to 2021. So what is it? Chris knows. Contemporary art. Shocking, I know. Hey, but after the 2008 crash, tons of wealthy investors used art to defend their wealth. And thanks to Masterworks, you can too. This revolutionary app has made multi-million-dollar paintings investable. In other words, you can invest paintings without needing to in paintings without having to buy the entire thing. He owns a piece of a Picasso over there. So to discover how to participate alongside over 350,000 members, that includes my buddy Chris over here, go to masterworks.art/Chad. That's masterworks.art/Chad. Need to see important Regulation A disclosures at masterworks.io/about/disclosure. Always check out the disclosure, folks. We will be right back.
That's
All right, welcome back. We had to kick Cassady out. It was getting too hot in here. My goodness gracious. I love these guys. I want you guys thinking, man. That's what I want. Listen, if we're not saying things that challenge the system, we're not doing our job. We've got to be challenging the system, right? You know, you got to be calling people out. We need to do it with grace. We need to do it with understanding. But again, remember what I said to you yesterday, and I'm going to keep referring to this thing. Start from the premise of, am I wrong? Am I wrong? And go from there. Prove yourself right. That is the essence, in my opinion, of critical thinking. That's how you overcome the ideology, the orthodoxy of ideology. That's how you stop from ideologies becoming your religion. Stop holding on to the sacred cows, all right? You sit there and say, well, you guys are a bunch of conspiracy theorists. Well, I think we have to be at this point. Yep. We have to look at the system and say, who is aligning all this stuff and marshaling their forces against us and against our freedom, our ability to speak freely? I mean, why say is Facebook censoring everybody? Everybody's dealing with Facebook jail right now. I mean, in some cases, as somebody told me yesterday, they got banned on Facebook for calling somebody a silly goose. Silly goose. I've seen some ridiculous examples on that. What's the problem? Why are the algorithms getting harder and harder? I've said things in the last 2 weeks since my court case with Facebook that I know typically would have gotten me a restriction in this day and age. I'm trying to be nicer. But I'm still calling those things the way I see them, okay? I'm just not, every now and then I call somebody a troll. I'm waiting any day for them to start penalizing us for referring to somebody as a troll. Well, if the shoe fits, if that's what they're doing, then that's what they're going to call them. And what Cassady's talking about, and I appreciate guys like him. I appreciate guys like Alex Stein. I appreciate our very own Elijah Schaefer and Savannah Hernandez and so many of the different folks that we've got who go out, put that camera, James Klug, who put that camera in people's face and get them talking, get them to admit some things. Steven Crowder is the master at that over the years. And so I appreciate those guys who do that. And go out there and get it straight from the horse's mouth. And we're all going to come at things with our own convictions. That's okay. We look. And again, I don't think, referring back to the last segment, like J.P. Sears, he's my buddy. I don't think he's a sellout. I don't think at all. I think a lot of people got caught up in the BLM rhetoric early on when that stuff first came along. And it's like, you're supposed to love black people. Well, who doesn't love black people? I mean, we love everybody, right?
The Democrats.
So you got caught up on that deal. You didn't realize this was a political agenda that was going to siphon government and corporate money into it by the billions of dollars and then redistribute it like some kind of money laundering scheme, which is exactly what it was. You need to watch Glenn Beck's program tomorrow night, Wednesday night special. He's going to talk about this very thing. We didn't realize, a lot of people didn't realize. Now, me personally, because I'm reasonably intuitive, I knew immediately that's what was going to happen.
Yep.
That's why I didn't buy into it. Anybody that has not lobotomized themselves and gotten rid of that second layer of brain matter, that deeper soul mind area where critical thinking happens, anybody that's still got that, you could see right through it. Let me tell you how. If the mainstream media is barking about it nonstop, don't believe it.
Yep.
That's where we're at. It's that simple. Because if the mainstream media is pushing you repetitively to believe something, then they're trying to lie to you. They're trying to get you to buy into a narrative. So if it's the Ukraine thing, if it was the COVID thing, if it was Black Lives Matter, you can name it all across the deal. If they're pushing it, promoting it, you're listening to the narrative over and over again, you need to go the other direction. Now, maybe you just choose, like me, for the most part with the Russia-Ukraine thing, I've chosen to keep my mouth shut. We've talked about it a little bit, but by and large, because I don't know. And I admit that I don't know. I can tell you what I do know. Vladimir Putin is a piece of garbage. And somebody sent me a message the other day, said, well, maybe he's not that bad. He was a KGB hitter, for crying out loud. Not a good dude. Not a good guy historically, and he's getting worse. He's getting worse. Now, the Ukraine is number one country in the world for child trafficking, sex trafficking. It's the world's place to launder money. We know that, Burisma was paying Hunter Biden, $60,000-$80,000 a month to be on their board. He had no oil and gas experience. But what was it? Well, the whole 10% to the big guy, the stuff in the emails going to Joe Biden and to Joe Biden's brother. Remember all that stuff? That was all centered around Ukraine. You remember Donald Trump got impeached over a phone call to Volodymyr Zelensky? It all centered around Ukraine. So Ukraine has a lot of garbage going on too. Yes, we can feel sorry for the citizens that are there that are caught in a crossfire. We can feel sorry for those refugees who are going into Poland. But to try to say Ukraine is some kind of glorious example and a shining light of how a country should be run, and now they are just being attacked senselessly. No, there's a lot of things wrong with Ukraine too. So trying to find a good guy in this whole deal and which side, you just won't see me throwing any flags up on my profile picture anytime soon, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Hater.
Now, I'm a hater, I guess, but I pray for the citizens. I do. I support the efforts to make sure that communication stays up in that area. Our buddy Chad Robichaud with Mighty Oaks Foundation and Save Our Allies, they're over there right now. He texted me the other day from the airplane. He said, I'm on my way to Ukraine right now. They've been there in Poland, right there on the border. And they're trying to make sure that comms stay up for these citizens. So if there is need, whether it is medical need or food or whatever that is, they can still transmit those supplies and get them, or transport those supplies and get them in there through a transmission of communication. They're trying to make sure that stays up. You can actually help them by donating at saveourallies.org and follow them, or you can actually go to Mercury One's website. They've actually got a link over to Save Our Allies. And, of course, you follow Mighty Oaks Foundation and our friend Chad Robichaud. You can figure out ways to do it and help them do what they're doing. That helps the citizens.
Yep.
So that helps the citizens. These are people who are caught in the middle of this nonsense that's going on. And to what Cassady said, I have no doubt in my mind that if you just watch long enough, you're going to see that this was something manufactured by the puppet masters. And they don't care. You're cannon fodder. They don't care about any of us. They don't like us, man. For those of us out there, we're just citizens trying to survive, feed our families, live our lives, be left alone, be kept at peace, own our homes, those kind of things. Now, they don't care about you. They don't give a rat's ass about you. You're cannon fodder, man. They can sling you out there to the wolves, and it doesn't matter as long as the goal and the end game of the puppet masters is realized. What is that? We don't know. Is it Dr. Evil world domination? Is it population control? I mean, they've been saying that stuff. They've been touting that stuff since the 80s, big time, using the mainstream media to do it. We know these agendas whenever the CEO of Bayer comes out and talks about gene therapy and saying, well, we couldn't have gotten this kind of gene therapy prior to COVID, because it would have been, if we just said, hey, come sign up for gene therapy, let us sample your DNA. Before COVID, that would have been a 95% refusal rate. Those were his words. Now he says, but with COVID, we were able to do all of this and have all of this research. So they said that the vaccines weren't gene therapy. I'm getting us in trouble again, aren't I, Chris?
Yep.
So they said that wasn't gene therapy. Now the CEO of Bayer is coming out and saying that exact same thing. So whatever they're saying in the mainstream, go the other way. Go the other way. Turn the tide. Don't think like that. Get in your brain, get critical thinking going. You don't have to be some world problem solver. You got to take care of you. But man, you got to think right. You got to think right, because believing in the narrative and constantly, just repeating this, you're playing into their hands, and all we're doing is we're showing them the strategy of how to manipulate us the next go round. Because they're going to keep coming. What Cassady referred to and what I said a minute ago is exactly the truth. If they don't get you to fall for this narrative, they got another one waiting in the wings to come up with for you to do that. So you didn't buy into the whole coronavirus thing, good. But now you're changing your thing. And look, again, support the people you want to support. That's fine. But everybody has this opinion on what's going on in this global situation, in Europe right now. And I don't know that anybody has any answers. I wish somebody did, because I'm curious to know what people are thinking. So I want to protect your mind, folks. While we still have a platform to do it, let's protect your mind, okay? It's one of the reasons why I want you to subscribe to Blaze TV. I really want you to. That's a long sales pitch right there, Chris. I want you to subscribe to Blaze TV. Go to blazetv.com/Chad. Use promo code MORECHAD. I want you to, because you've got to make sure that independent broadcasters, listen, if it's important for Chad Robichaud to be in Poland right now, making sure that Ukrainian citizens have a way to communicate with each other and to get a message out there, how much more important is it for you right here in your home to make sure that you guarantee that a message can get out? You got to support independent broadcasters like Blaze TV. Now, you say, well, you're just trying to make money. I'm making money for somebody, but ain't necessarily for me, okay? So just trust me when I tell you, you need to stay plugged in. Let's take the power away from the masters. Hey, 60% of U.S. pork production comes from one company, and that's owned by the Chinese. You think there's not an agenda. Their hogs are actually given something called ractopamine, which is banned in 160 countries, including China, yet you find it in your grocery aisle every day. Now, I like to know exactly where my meat comes from, and with Moink, that place is from small family farms all across the country. You can help save the family farm, get access to the highest quality meat on earth when you join the Moink movement today. Moink delivers grass-fed, grass-finished beef and lamb, pastured pork and chicken, and sustainable wild-caught Alaskan salmon straight to your door. Moink farmers farm like our grandparents did, and as a result, Moink meat tastes great like it should, because the family farm does it better. The Moink difference is a difference you can taste, and you can feel good knowing you're helping family farms stay financially independent too. You choose the meat delivered in every box, like ribeyes to chicken breast to pork chops to salmon fillets, whole lot more. Plus, you can cancel anytime. Keep American farming going by signing up at moinkbox.com/Chad right now. Listeners of this show are going to get a free filet mignon for a year. That's 1 year of the best filet mignon you ever taste for a limited time. MOINK box.com/Chad. Moinkbox.com/Chad. We'll be right back. Well, this could potentially be the most interesting Tuesday episode we've ever done. I want to make sure that we are true to form and that every single segment of this episode has a chance to get us banned. All right, let's take a fun little walk down a curvy lane, folks, and check out Chasten Buttigieg, husband of former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg, in a clip that you're just going to love. Chris, roll that clip.
All right. I pledge my heart. To the rainbow. Of the not so typical gay camp. One camp. Full of pride. Indivisible. With affirmation and equal rights for all. Watch your heads.
Okay. Now, before we dissect this particular incident with our blunt little rhetorical tools, let's talk for a moment about allegiance, a word that literally deals with you and those with whom you choose to form an alliance. In this country, ever since about the end of World War II, we've had a pledge of allegiance to our flag, the iconographic representation of the United States of America and everything she has historically stood for. We've said it at events and in our schools. We've added and in some cases removed the words under God to and from it, and fought over the same way we fight over just about everything else. If you're like any other red-blooded American, you've probably mumbled it a million times under your breath as you desperately tried to wake up and face your academic day, stumbling over it and in some cases completely mangling the words. But have you ever really thought about it? About what you're doing when you say it? You see, it's not just meant to be a jingoistic ritual to get the heart pounding and the blood pumping and the eyes watering, although it can definitely do all three of those things. It's also an act, in a way, of consecrating one's mind and body to the task of upholding America's central raison d'etre for reason for existence, a reason for existence, to exercise and maintain the cause of liberty. The words you say are words of commitment to a cause. To put it another way, a commitment we should all take really seriously, given how perilously close we sometimes come to losing that liberty. Now that we've established a framework, let's see how the pledge you just saw fits on it. First and foremost, I would be remiss if I didn't point out that the gay camp in question is a school-sponsored event. Cue the part of the show where I tell you that you need to get your kids out of public schools because they're nothing more than indoctrination centers trying to pump out a new generation of dyed-in-the-wool card-carrying leftists, and you don't want your kids having any part of it. And I know that some people might push back and ask, what about other clubs and camps sponsored by schools that teach things not every parent agrees with? Okay, on the surface, it's a fair point. Like, for instance, the FCO, or Fellowship of Christian Athletes, would be a prime example that comes to mind. Well, explaining the difference between the two situations would take a whole hour, but let me see if I can sum it up. John Adams once stated that the new country they were forming would only work for a moral and religious people. Now, if you think the separation of church and state is about keeping God out of schools, I suggest you go back and read what's written about it, because it's not that. In other words, this sort of thing was baked into the cake from the very beginning. If you're along for the ride with me in understanding that a gay camp doesn't fall under the same distribution of basic American ideological preconceptions, then we have enough common ground to understand that this sort of thing is just another wing of the leftist machine doing its best to raise up a new set of useful widgets. Now, finally, let's circle back to that whole allegiance thing. If you're gay and you're pledging your heart to the rainbow, let me give out a warning, and please believe me that this comes from a place of love. You're pledging allegiance to an ideology that doesn't actually care about you. Now, I'm not saying other gay people. I'm saying the ideological framework that's got its hand up the puppet of your so-called marginalized group status. It's not there because it cares about you. Don't give in and allow yourself to be a tool. Pledge your allegiance to something that pledges its allegiance back. And if that pledge of allegiance to the pride flag was so important, why in the hell is Chasten Buttigieg reading it off a card? Woo! Why did he know it by heart? Because it didn't mean anything. Does it mean anything? But they want you to believe that it does, folks. My, oh, my, oh, my. I don't understand. I don't understand how we can continue to sit back and just watch this shit just roll out into the public forum, especially when it involves our kids. I mean, just watching that video. You want to talk about eliciting a visceral response in me. That I'm going to take young, impressionable kids who have been taught to respect authority, at least you assume, to some degree. And by the very nature, if not nurture, but by the very nature of being a young person, you respect someone who is older than you and has some authority, who steps into a classroom and says, okay, I'm going to lead you in something. And now you're going to take those young, impressionable minds, you're going to walk them through a gay pledge of allegiance, a pledge of allegiance to the pride flag and to a gay club. Why are we hypersexualizing everything in our society when it comes to our kids right now? Why? What in the hell is wrong with us? We let me tell you something. We're going to keep tolerating some weird stuff until it's going to be too late. And let me repeat, I don't have to, but I'm gonna. I don't care who you, as a consenting adult, I don't care what you do. I do not care what you do, as long as your freedom of choice does not infringe on somebody else's life. I don't care. But this is not that. And we're headed down, it's not even a slippery slope anymore. We have stepped off the freaking precipice into a moral abyss that there will be no recovering from. And that's not my little puritanical. I'm the last dude on the planet that's going to preach to you about being puritanical. That ain't me. That ain't how I live my own life. You want to get with it? We'll get with it. We'll party down. But you know what? I'm not bringing kids into it. Fucking weirdos.
Chad!
I was close. You bring kids into it, you got a problem.
True.
All right, hey, current inflation and uncertainty makes me nauseous. Gives me some anxiety. No worse feeling than being nauseous if you've ever experienced nausea, whether it's from the stress of the world heading into space with Elon Musk, like I do. Some of that bad Indian food, or even nausea brought on by anxiety medication itself. You know how quickly your body can turn from comfortable crisis mode. Listen, Relief Band is the #1 FDA-cleared anti-nausea wristband that's been clinically proven to quickly relieve and effectively prevent nausea and vomiting associated with motion sickness, anxiety, migraines, hangovers, morning sickness, chemotherapy, and so much more. How it works is this. Relief Band stimulates a nerve in the wrist that travels to the part of the brain that controls nausea, and then it blocks the signal your brain is sending to your stomach telling you that you are sick. Plus, the product is 100% drug-free, non-drowsy, and provides all-natural, long-lasting relief with zero side effects for as long as needed. Relief Band makes a great gift for any time of year. Right now, they've got an exclusive offer just for my audience. If you go to reliefband.com and use promo code WATCHCHAD, you'll receive 20% off plus free shipping and a no questions asked 30-day money-back guarantee. It's the best offer you're going to find for Relief Band anywhere. So head over to reliefband.com, use promo code WATCHCHAD for 20% off plus free shipping. Go there. We'll be right back. Have I told you guys what a great human being Jeff Rosenblum is lately? Look at this guy. Wrote a great book called, that's a deep pour, son. That's almost 2 fingers right there. Yeah, he sent me this. Not only wrote a book called Exponential, which I love, he sent me some of that Hill Rock rye whiskey. I don't want to drop the F-bombs. I shouldn't, but I do. Sometimes I get pretty passionate about it. But, anytime somebody says, you're just cussing and drinking. Well, yeah. Yeah. According to the drinking game, don't forget, drink. It goes on with the Fact Pack if you're watching the live chat on YouTube. And Robert makes sure that we got our words out there for the drinking game. But he cheats because he listens to the audio show first. And then early on, he's like, I know what Chad's going to say. He ain't wrong. I think it's a pretty good game. Of course, you play by his rules, you're going to be sauced. I mean, just probably all the times I'm going to say Klaus Schwab. If that's one of the words, you're getting hammered. I'm probably getting canceled just by saying the name Klaus Schwab over and over again. Is that evil mastermind, dude? Let's go to some of this idiocy that I want you to avoid in your life. That third clip on the list. No. The 4th clip of Nancy Pelosi. May we please have that, Mark?
When we're having this discussion, it's important to dispel some of those who say, it's the government spending. No, it isn't. The government spending is doing the exact reverse, reducing the national debt. It is not inflationary.
What? Everybody's like, there's no such thing as the Great Reset. There's no such thing as modern monetary theory. There's no such thing as okay. You heard what she just said. Government spending is reducing the national debt. They want you to believe this. I don't know where I can take you guys on any form of logical journey when logic has been tossed out the window. It's gone. The baby, you tossed them out with the bathwater. The whole thing's gone. There's no substance left anymore. They just tell you this stuff. The word salad that I alluded to in the opening monologue of yesterday's show. You can't with this. I mean, this is the kind of thing they're going to keep throwing this at you. They want you to, and when Kamala Harris gets up there as vice president, starts talking about her cackling garbage, and then View's going to come out and say, well, the only reason they're making fun of her is because she's a black woman. Well, first of all, she's not a black woman. She's not a black woman. That woman's changed races 13 times since she was running for president in 2019. And she does whatever's convenient for her. No, we ridicule her because she is stupid. Like, unintelligent. I feel bad that she is because she's kind of co-piloting the plane here. I wish she was smarter, but she's not. You call those things out, and they're like, oh, well, no, y'all just picking on her because y'all are racist, and she's a woman. They want you to believe those narratives, guys. Speaking of narratives, I bet you got a TikTok. I do. Play it. Mm-hmm.
If you are a person who wants to adopt an infant, but we would never consider fostering an older child, you are a selfish piece of trash who doesn't deserve children in any capacity ever. And before you come crying about how you're infertile and it's the only way for you to get children, I'm infertile and I can't have biological children. But I'm also aware that adoption and the foster system are not my tools just to build my family. They are ways to help children, and that should always be the first priority. This is not even getting into how highly unethical infant adoptions, specifically privatized infant adoptions, are. The fact that you can pay thousands upon thousands of dollars to legally become somebody's parent without their consent or say-so is highly unethical. The fact that those parents can then strip them away from their biological family and strip every piece of culture that they could have had is highly unethical. The fact that so many of these birth parents wanted to keep their children but couldn't because they were destitute is highly unethical. Adoption and foster care system are first and foremost supposed to be about the safety of the children, not you getting the family that you always wanted.
It's exactly about that. It's like I want to adopt a child for whatever reason. Maybe it's infertility. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just want to adopt a child. It's exactly about that. And there's children out there that can be and should be adopted. But let me make sure I get that toddler's consent first before I make their life infinitely better. Now, again, there are problems out there, but unlike her, I'm not going to sit there and individualize things because she said, well, I'm infertile. Honey, it ain't about you. It's not about you. If you don't want to adopt, don't adopt. But, them babies need love, and we're going to give it to them. We don't need their consent to do it. You can love whoever you want to love. And sometimes you bring them into your household and raise them up and spend your good hard-earned money, making sure they become good citizens themselves and have a good, well-adjusted life. Coming from a family, my own, that knows all about adoption firsthand, trust me when I tell you, it's a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, you're not. We'll be right back. All right, folks, go to watchchad.com. That's where all the fun stuff is. And please don't miss out on the fun. Go to chadnude.com or blazetv.com/Chad and sign up for overtime using promo code MORECHAD. We're going to have a good old time. The boys worked hard to make this, the boys worked hard to make that side of the studio look really fun, really cool. And I don't want you guys to miss out on it because we're going to get down and dirty. You know I'm talking about? Maybe we'll do some drinking and cussing. I don't know, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I can tell you that. Listen, take it, process it. Critical thinking, folks. It's a beautiful thing. Don't forget to use it. Don't abuse it, or then you'll lose it. Just know that we love you. Tomorrow's hump day, and we're going to be right back here coming at you, Humpty Hump. Love y'all. God bless you. Talk to you then. Bye.